Welcome to Full Scope, a podcast of two guys in their 20s giving their perspective on the games that we love, the headlines of pop culture, and the meaning behind it all. I'm your host, Wellington Burns, and I'm my counterpart, Savon Mords. How's it going, man?
We're getting closer and closer to this saying change in Wellington.
No, we gotta take out one part of it.
But other than that, I'm doing good, man. How's everything?
It's going really good, man. And we have a lot of topics to get into. Obviously, some thoughts on last week's NBA All-Star Weekend. Also, a new trade with Westbrook going to the Clippers. Some album reviews in the second half. We're going to do a review of Insomnia. But start off with just thoughts on the NBA All-Star Weekend and McClung's ascension in the dunk contest. Team Giannis won 184 to 175. Jason Tatum had a record 55 points. Damian Lillard also won the three-point contest. And McClung's win in the dunk contest was kind of like the main thing that was talked about the most. Definitely bumped up his popularity. But the conversation around the All-Star game is just like, the game wasn't interesting. There's no defense as usual, but there really wasn't. Because even last year we saw what Steph did, and that got everybody talking. Everybody was interested in it, what he was doing. But this year it just felt like there wasn't the same draw as it's been in the past. What were your thoughts on the All-Star Weekend and some of the events that took place?
Another load management. You look at the difference between when, back in the day, I don't want to say back in the day when Jordan, Kobe, those guys,
take it serious.
That was a pickup game. That was literally everybody's going to get better and give the fans a show that they'll never see only once during the NBA season.
Right.
Now it's just like another load management situation. These fans are paying X amount of money for these tickets for you guys just to louse around, not run up the court, just shoot whatever, shoot crazy shots. That's cool, but we still want to see some defense. We still want to see some guys dunked on. We want to see some it's a lot of things we want to see as an all-star game that we're not getting anymore. Some things need to change again. Like, they did the 3-point, not the rules. The rules don't need to change. That's not what we're asking for.
Right.
We're asking for the players to give more than they are. This is not a load management situation. This is All-Star Weekend. Come on.
This is not the Clippers All-Star Weekend. And I mean, also, like, another thing that was mentioned was, like, with the dunk contest, not having some of, like, the biggest stars in it, because, like, people were wanting John Moran to be a part of it. He didn't want to. Also, like, there's also been the thing of, like, LeBron never being a part of the dunk contest, but he's always said he's more of an in-game dunker. Like, he's not one of those guys just going to create a dunk. Like, what are your thoughts on when, like, fans and even, like, certain media people want the best players to be a part of certain contests that they're just not really kind of accustomed to and are not going to, like, really want to be interested in?
At the end of the day, it's all about press. What we can write about, what's hot news of obviously LeBron James get into the dunk contest. It's going to be, everybody's going to tune in. Ratings going to be high, but like you said, he's definitely an in-game dunker. He's not a creative dunker. He's got a windmill. He got the head over the rim with the one arm. He's not creative in his dunk package. Now I think John Morant would be a good one to have in the dunk contest, but who wants you to get a billion likes for you to do so? And I think that's nonsense. You parade on social media that if you jump with me, you're going to be on a poster. Why not do that in a dunk contest? It's all about ratings. You're still gonna. So I just don't understand his train of thought when it comes to the dunk contest. You're not going to get injured. Are you gonna get exposed that you're not as a creative dunker as you think you are? Possibly.
That might be.
Possibly. Maybe you're an in-game dunker. You just dunk on people, which is cool. But, I mean, they could have got, more interesting people. KJ Martin, Trey Murphy III, Jericho Sims. Most of these guys thought they were doing amazing dunks. Bro, you were doing like Fisher Price dunks, bro. Like, what's going on here? So, I thought, if it wasn't for Matt McClung, which we already knew he was like fantastic when dunking. Like we already knew what he was going to bring to the table.
A trendy pick to win it.
And literally, they could have put anybody else in. They could have got Dwight Howard from overseas. Like, hey, bro, we need you in the dunk contest again.
Bring back something, man.
Just something, bro. Because I mean, he was literally in a league of his own, and it showed. He was so creative. He did different dunks. I mean,
even back with Blake Griffin jumping over the key, like the dunk contest used to even mean something. Like everybody was hyped for it. The Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, which I think was like the best one that we've had
was
in a while.
literally the best one
like that
in a long time.
Yeah. So it's been so long since we really kind of had that feeling. It's intimate.
For sure. I mean, that's competitive nature. Those guys were going at it. I remember watching a bunch of videos on YouTube, like, 10 plus years ago when I was high school, of Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan, some other guys going at it, and Spud Webb. Like, those guys was really going at it. But now,
that's an all-star. That's a dunk contest you would literally rewatch. Like I literally rewatch that, and it would be interesting from start to finish.
Mm-hmm. And he was doing Michael Jordan was so creative with his dunk, rock the baby, the lean. Like that was his best dunk, that lean.
Yes.
How do you lean in the air, bro?
Man,
that's
the
crazy.
creativity, which is at an all-time high.
We don't see that anymore. Well, for one guy, obviously, anyone.
Yeah. And now getting into Westbrook heading to the Clippers and kind of how this new fit will work. The signing took place earlier this week after the Jazz completed a buyout, and the Clippers have kind of been actively looking for a point guard who could best fit the Clippers' current construct, as the team lacked depth at the position after dealing with Reggie Jackson and John Wall. And a lot. This has been an interesting kind of like move, because I feel as though the Clippers could have used a guard who could score actively shoot better, like in terms of like a Kyle Lowry or a Fred VanVleet. And I think sometimes when you look at the issue with Westbrook being with his team is that Paul George and Kawhi are also ball dominant as well. And if Westbrook doesn't have the ball, he's not going to be productive. He's just going to be almost like the Rockets days when he was just kind of standing around and Harden was being ball dominant. But what are your thoughts on this move and kind of how this new fit will work?
I think Tyronn Lue understands what he's getting from Russell Westbrook. Already, we're going in it already. I think he understands, and he said that in a quote. I'm not, wanting Russ to be anything but Russ, and right. I mean that's what he was in his debut. I think he was 14.
Yeah, and that game was 176 for 175,
which was crazy. But the MO of Russ, the 7 turnovers.
Yep.
And I understand that he needs the ball in his hands, but when the ball is in his hands, he turns over the ball a lot. So I think they understand they utilize the personnel really well. And then I don't think Kawhi will play as much because that load management, man. He doesn't want to get hurt. And funny thing
is, every game.
Yeah. He's going to play every game. He's going to give you the same mediocre style of play. It's taking nothing from Russ. I'm not trying to be funny. That's the MO. That's the pattern. Literally 17 points, 14 assists, 7 turnovers. Yes, we know what we're going to get. We're consistent every night.
Yeah.
So it's the mediocre play, but it's presence. I think Russ is a great guy. I think that's why he's still in the league. I mean, he still has some luster there, but him being a great guy and becoming a team player is why he's still in the league, in my opinion. So they're going to get the same mediocre play game and out, but he's going to play every night. And then the difference is Tyronn Lue play him in the clutch moments. Because Lakers never play him in the clutch moments. They kind of subbed him out and put another different personnel in. They left him in this double overtime. Why is this game so high, bro? 170.
I was literally saying that. I looked at this. I wasn't able to see the game last night, but when I got home, I looked at the score. I was like, there's no way. That's an all-star game score. That's literally an all-star game.
Literally an all-star game. I was like, bro, who do they have in? And I was like, oh, this the Kings and the Clippers. Okay. And then I was looking at all they have is De'Aaron Fox. And I'm like, bro, Fox going off like this? We've been waiting for Fox to go crazy.
We talked about that.
For years.
Yes.
After the All-Star break, man, they want it. They want to.
It's so crazy, the mentality after All-Star break. No, we got to get to it. We got to get to it.
We were just fooling y'all. We just was waiting for the All-Star
in the first half.
No, you better kick it in. You better win every game. But I don't think obviously that's not possible. Obviously.
Right, mathematically. But now getting into Nate McMillan being let go from the Hawks, and also just how Atlanta can improve going forward. This firing took place on Tuesday, clearing the way kind of for an immediate search that will start with leading candidate Quinn Snyder. And this is also the second significant change in the Hawks leadership this season, with president of basketball operations, Travis Schlenk, also stepping down December 21st. And there have been numerous reports of him and Trae Young not getting along. And obviously, like when the star player doesn't get along with the coach, like the star player is going to stay and the coach is eventually going to leave. Like,
obviously, expendable,
yeah. We've seen this scenario multiple times in the past. But what are your thoughts on, the departure, Nate McMillan going, and also just like what the Hawks can do going forward?
They're trying to shake things up. Trae Young has been drafted, 2018, 2019, maybe?
Yeah.
Somewhere somewhere around that time. So in the past 5-6 years, they have not hit the ceiling.
Other than that Eastern Conference Finals, I think against the Bucks a couple years ago. That was like the last time they like really almost got there.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But you look at the Atlanta Hawks at one point were really consistently good, right? And that was a terrible sentence to conform. 60 wins at one point, back to back. That's when they had Jeff Teague, Bazemore, a couple other guys. Corver was there. He rejuvenated a little bit over there.
They used to have a squad.
They used to have a good squad, and just going from that, like, okay, we just need something else, and then you go down. Then they draft the young guy that they believe in, go to the NBA, the finals, Instagram finals, and then lose, and then after that, none existed. So I think the management or the front office, like, okay, we need to do something. We need to change something up. They're even talking about trading Trae Young, looking for possible trades for Trae Young, and I get it. Understand, you got to rebuild. We have to shake things up. We have been doing the same thing.
You said this about the Jazz. You said this about the Jazz.
Yeah, they're gonna have to start getting rid of. Trae Young is expendable now. I think so. He has not shown anything since the East. I'll give you Eastern Conference Finals, right?
Yeah.
He's been in the league 5-6 years. Okay, you go to Eastern Conference Finals one time. Okay, cool, buddy. How much money are we paying you, buddy? How many money are we paying you, buddy? So now the fans, front office, everybody's demanding more. We got to see something. So now, if they get some draft picks for Trae Young, or even get some 2 rotational players, that's a win for them. Trae Young goes to Miami. I think he fits with Miami, even though they just got Kevin Love. They have money to spend. This is probably some other teams that they could shop around. New York Knicks have some money. Brooklyn Nets have some money. They could probably get some good players. Seth Curry can go over there. That could be a good a guy coming off the bench or starting in the lineup. So they need to start shopping him around, and them firing Nate McMillan, I think, is a sign of like, we will do any and everything for our organization to be successful.
For sure.
So, and I think Nate McMillan did a great job with the Hawks. I think he had a great tenure there, but they had to make a move. And the first move was like, okay, we got to get these players to understand all of y'all are expendable. This is a business first and foremost. They love Nate McMillan, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Front office loved Nate McMillan, but they had to make it. They had to make a decision like, hey, we got to get rid of some guys, and we love you, but this is a business, buddy.
At the end of the day, that's what the NBA always has been. Like for the most consistent coaches, the best ones, unless you actually kind of get to that. Well, even when Frank Vogel,
yes,
I mean, he wanted to find, you know what I mean? So, and he got let go. So I mean, like, that shows you how much the NBA is a business, even when you have won a title in the past and still can deliver in the following years. That shows you how expendable.
Shoot, Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens is another one. Yeah. Heck of a coach. But at the end of the day, you're not doing what we need you, results that we want, so we got to let you go. But I think Nate McMillan will land back on his feet for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And kind of getting to like which team has the most pressure kind of in the second half of the season as we're in the last 20 plus games. Like, to me, like, Phoenix obviously is going to be the team that's going to be mentioned the most, because like when you bring in, because when KD comes in, they're going to be like, how's this team going to look? They're expecting just high scoring throughout, obviously with so many offensive weapons, and then defensively with what TJ Warren can do, and obviously KD can be a two-way player as well. But what team do you think is going to have like the most pressure in the second half of this season to close it
out? One, Lakers.
Yeah.
To get into that fold of playing to get into the playoffs, I think Lakers
they have a chance to actually be a 60. They're not that far out.
I think so too. I think it's going to take a lot, but if they can buckle down and get into and win out and there, and then try to get into playoffs, I think they can make a run for it.
This is a better fit. This is a better fit, especially with D'Angelo Russell. This team looks like more of a natural LeBron-led team.
Yeah, and I think D'Angelo Russell understands the role he's in, and he's that guy, just a chameleon. I mean, you see him with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and when he was with the Golden State Warriors. He's just a chameleon. The guy can get into any basketball team. Now, after he was traded from the Lakers the first time, then he became that chameleon guy. When he went to the Brooklyn Nets, guy's good. And I'll say two other teams. Miami, there's a lot of pressure on them to me because they just shook around a lot of players. They're still trying to deal away Kyle Lowry, just get Kevin Love. I think he's going to get a good spacer and a guy who can shoot, and he'll be a good defender on the back end. But I think Miami has a lot of pressure. And then obviously Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Boston has a lot of pressure.
This team has to get back to the finals.
Number 1 seed right now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the tie with Milwaukee, but I think
who else is going to challenge them in the East? Like, I think they got to be the go-to team in the East, honestly. I mean, outside of Milwaukee, yeah. Whenever, because I was watching, I saw a clip earlier. Earlier this week with I think it was Luka, Tatum, and Donovan Mitchell. They're talking about who's the best player, and they all, outside of Luka, they all unanimously said Giannis. Like, it's just like he's that guy you have to like go through right now. You know what I mean? Because you can't stop him. You got to build a wall because he's gonna get his every game no matter what.
Yeah, he takes 2 steps, he's at the rim, and he's at the half court line. Takes 2 steps, he's at the rim. Like, that's insane. Like, Giannis is definitely a beast, and he's creating that 3-point shot even more and developing that 3-point shot. Once he does that, the guy is going to be nasty. I think he has, pretty good ball skills. Obviously, he can finish at the rim. Obviously, he can pick and roll, play defense, finish, all those things. But when he has that 3-point shot, bro, he's going to be like Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Because I think his short game is really good. Like, I'm talking golf. I think his mid-range shot, let me switch.
Switch
sports. Mid-shot game is pretty good. That's developed over the years. And now he's getting that confidence to shoot the 3-point. And he's pretty good. I think he's 80-something% at the free throw line. So I think that's still good. So he's checking boxes all across the board. But when he gets a 3-point shot, he's going to be even more unstoppable. But notice I haven't said Dallas Mavericks. I'm just going to leave that there.
I noticed that.
Just going to leave that there right there.
Yeah, just leave that right. And now we get into our album reviews with our first album, Don Toliver's Love Sick. This album contains kind of a larger conceptual bent that reveals more about Toliver's insane 16 songs in total with an incredible list of collaborations on the production side. Hit Boy, Cardo, Weezy, Deck Wright, and Kate Trinata helped put the project together. And even a couple of years ago with Don Toliver's last album, Life of a Don, we mentioned that how kind of more unique he was getting and how his sound was developing and how people just were kind of gravitating to his music even more. But with this new project, what were some of your initial thoughts on it and kind of like, your overall takeaways?
Fire.
Finally got an album that we
love. Fire, bro. Like, I think this was his best complete album. And I could tell I didn't know it was that producer, but I can it had like remnants of his DNA as a producer in this Westcon. Because some of the beats, I'm like, but how it started off really got me, bro. The first 5 songs, bro. Love Sickness, bro, how that came on, and then it just transitioned to Let Her Go. Like, bro, I'm like, okay. But my favorite song is obviously For Me, bro. That sample.
Oh, yes, man.
We will be my girl, but I was like, oh, this sound familiar. Because before I saw the stuff that you sent for our podcast, I saw it was on a playlist I was listening to when I was working out. And I was like, bro, why does it sound like the Elephant Man or something? Then I looked and I was like, oh, this is Don Toliver.
Yep.
It's simple. I was like, bro, I played that song about 1 million times. And then then I saw you put the album. I was like, he got an album coming out.
Yeah,
and then,
he was putting out a bunch of clips. He was putting out a bunch of teasers for it as well.
Bro, that's fire, bro. Yeah, this whole album fire. Even with the Charlie Wilson, I thought that was going to be like super weird.
I loved it.
Worked. Yeah, it worked, bro.
Charlie Wilson works on every feature. He just does not miss on a feature, man. Like he
Never,
can't,
bro.
He can't.
Even in the end, he was like, "Charlie, get out this room." I was like, "Why is he talking in a third person, bro?" You already good. And I was like, what? You weird. But nah, this was fire though, bro. This is Got Saved. Mm-hmm. Got Saved. Yeah, I've been listening to it for a minute now. Yeah. So, well, it came out yesterday.
Literally came out yesterday, man.
And I've just been listening to it. Like, that's the only album. I listened to Tink's album too. Well, listening to Tink album, trying to, broaden my horizon with female artists, trying to. It's so far it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But nah, yeah, this was,
bro. He's just elevating. I feel like every album, like he's putting out, he's just becoming more comfortable. Like, when can you tell an artist is just like kind of fully getting in their own zone and like just really kind of finding themselves and being secure in what they're putting out?
I think he's just speaking for Don Toliver, I think he's already was in that niche. Because at first we all, obviously when you get introduced from the artist who signed you with Travis Scott, you have similarities to him. That's why he signed you. Yeah. Like you're marketable because you're just like me.
Same range.
But he like quickly distinguished himself between him and Travis Scott. And then you guys are not, like, he carried most of Travis Scott's songs, but it sounded, then you have that distinguishedness in different albums, different singles, and then your sound. I think he's already had his similar sound. Obviously it's auto-tunes, but how he changes his voice, the falsetto sometimes, and now I think he finally got to a point where he can put out a full body of work that you can't skip. Because, I mean, I've seen like probably 4 or 5 songs from each project that he's done, but this saved all of them.
The most, yeah.
Yeah. So I think he's finally realizing how to put out a full body of work that's sustainable throughout. Like, I'm not going to get tired of hearing your sound, right? So I think he's finally figured out that niche with this album. And obviously, when you work with different producers, they bring something out of you. And then I love the Brent Faiyaz. I didn't know what to expect with that one because it's 2 different styles.
Yeah, I was wondering how that was going to mesh, and it worked well.
It worked well. Shout out to the producer. I think that's because they sampled Brent Faiyaz, I think one of his songs or whatever, and obviously Don Toliver wrote over that, and then you switch it up at the end so Brent Faiyaz can kind of like eat off, kill. Well, you know what I'm saying. Be good on the beat, whatever.
Yeah, honest. Flow well up.
yeah. Good shots out to the producer for doing that because that's what makes artists. Yeah, this was a good full body of work.
Definitely. And now get into our next review with Logic's College Park. In his new album, he attempts to craft thoughtful punchlines while addressing tough topics. Also, mental health struggles are mentioned along with different interludes throughout it. And this is also his first album as an independent artist. What were your thoughts on this body of work and also some of the features with it?
So, same logic. It's the same logic, bro. I mean, I love the one song I did love was Shimmy.
Ooh, with Joey.
Because Joey.
Oh my goodness, man.
Joey don't miss, bro.
I was listening to that this morning. I was like, man, Joey
is insane. Did you see? I hate to take this from Logic, but did you see his? He was covering a bunch of songs, singing with the live band, bro. Dude, smooth like silk, bro. Joey He could perform, sing, whatever, act. The guy is jack of all trades, bro. Yes, bro. But this album was the same logic, bro. Same logic. If you're gonna, like, we talked about the single that he put out, which wasn't a single.
Wake Up.
And it flowed well in the album, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, when I was listening to it throughout the album, I was like, yeah, this works. Yeah.
It flowed well with the album, which we thought, because it's an album song, not
a single.
But
Cecily only puts out single songs. She's the only one that gets it right.
She drop an album now or EP
she
at
does,
least.
Please.
You need to hurry up. But nah, this was the same logic. If you're gonna come out retirement, you're gonna do all this hoopla like I'm done with music, and I get the
He's
mental
doing the
health.
Jay-Z 03. He's doing the Jay-Z 03 thing where he just keeps.
Tell me what you got. Look, well Jay-Z came back. He dropped a single song. Show me what you got when he first came back, bro. That was fire. Yo. We get Wake Up and some other songs that are not that, bro. Yeah, this was literally the same logic. Exact logic. I'm not saying it's bad. Let me clarify.
No, because he put out good songs on this. It just wasn't anything different.
Sure.
Like it wasn't anything different from what we got, even with the because he put out an album, I think, back in June, last June. So it's just like it's very quick in terms of how much music he's putting out.
It's like, and I hate to compare this to, like, no, I'm not gonna do it. So I'm not gonna do it. No, it's bad, bro. It's bad, bro. It's you know how you thought somebody? No. We're gonna get canceled. We're gonna get canceled. But no, man. Like we felt bad. Like you were tired. Like, bro. Like I would say I'm a fan of you. Like I'm a fan. You're going out with a bang. Cool. Stay gone. Then you come back and you give us the same exact stuff. Like, bro, if you gotta come back, do something different. Like,
be experimental.
Yes. Why did you come back in the first place? If you're gonna do the same thing. So I'll leave it there. But this was like, it wasn't bad. It was okay.
Yeah.
Like it didn't get, the only song that got saved was Shimmy, and Joey saved that song.
That's the worst when when a feature is the one who actually is the reason your song got saved.
You better thank him. Send him a postcard or something. Send him some flowers.
And now getting into Sabrina Claudio's archives and lullabies. In her new 11-song album, she includes 7 unreleased songs and acoustic versions of 2022's Based on a Feeling album. And this is also her 6th R&B oriented project, and it's her first body of work as an independent artist. What were your thoughts on this album and her being independent now? Because like even last year she put out a project, and we mentioned that sometimes ever since her like 2017 album, it had kind of been a drift from what she usually puts out. But I feel as though she's kind of getting back to that a little bit more now. But what were your initial thoughts on this?
I agree. I was back listening to her probably like 16 or 17, especially when she was doing collabs with Khalid. Mm-hmm. I thought that sound was very pure. And then obviously when you get signed and you go into mainstream, it kind of changes because you want to fit a certain demographic. But now that she's, independent, I feel like she's going to get back to what she fell in love with music. And I think this is a good start. I thought it was solid. It was a couple songs that were like, okay, those are decently good. Those are nice vibes. And I think that's her own MO. She's a vibe. Mm-hmm. Like she doesn't go past her range. If that makes sense.
That's a good thing to do.
She's safe. She's a safe artist. She's a safe singer. She's like Giveon or whatever his name is.
What do you think about safe artists though? Like when they just kind of just stay in their pocket and just never kind of branch out. Like do you think that can be a negative at times?
You better learn how to play instruments. Look at her. Her's a safe artist.
Yeah.
She can sing now, but she's safe. Her image safe, her singing safe, but you know what saves her? She could play like 1,000 instruments.
Literally, there's no limit.
Cover. Yeah, she could. She covered Elton John. Mm-hmm. Like she was playing, Elton John was jumped out of his seat when she was playing the guitar and the piano and all that stuff, bro. Like Alicia Keys. No, Alicia Keys, actually, nah, she ain't safe. She from the hood. She from New York. New York. Brah. like a whole homeboy in one of those pictures. She was in the studio. So nah. She's not a safe artist. And she can sing. We've seen her range. So but Sabrina is a safe artist. She's not going to go past her limitations. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But if you want to stay in that, you better learn how to play some instruments.
Yeah, definitely. Just branch out in some capacity. Because like you said, like with her, like the last project she put back in 2021, she showed her full range in that body of work. Like it was a longer album. but still, like the fact that she can do so many things instrumentation wise, it makes her sound and makes her overall product just, it takes it to another level. Because we can get stuck in on just on your voice, but when you can do other things, it just shows, okay, like this person is just multifaceted, and there's nothing that they really can't do.
And she could perform.
That too.
Like outside of just playing the instruments, she's amazing live.
Yeah.
Like her live performances are really, really good. She's marketable in different facets. That's why she was on Nickelodeon, right? Mm-hmm. She did cameos in Nickelodeon. Not a lot of artists could do that because she's clean and safe. But outside of, and she writes. And then she has good writers around her. Her music, it's like, I'm not saying like she's a safe singer, right? She stays in the pocket. She know what she can do. But when you can write, when you have good writers around you, the music, the product, Sabrina is like, it comes alive. Sabrina is kind of like limited, in my opinion. She was limited in certain aspects of her music. So now I hope she can go freely and explore who she is as an artist at being independent.
She's always going to be a vibe. She's always going to be a vibe.
She's always going to be a vibe, for sure. You could play her, "Don't Let Me Down." I told you things about, bro, that's a fire song, right? Mm-hmm. Vibe. Yeah. So, yeah.
Definitely. And now getting to our last review of Anderson .Paak and Cordae's latest song, 210s, and their latest J. Cole produced single, the two artists kind of go back and forth about all of the burdens that come with being rich, and kind of touch on that subject a little more. But what were your thoughts on this collab, the production of it, and just kind of like the overall feel to it?
J. Cole produced it?
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that'd be fire, bro.
That'd be fire. I'll play that song so much.
Hey, that's fire. Obviously, their collab is crazy always. This was fire. I like the conversation. And obviously, I think Cordae was more laid back on it. Because you could tell in his his cadence, it was like slow played. Because obviously, he was like having a conversation. And that's hard to do on a beat.
Super hard.
Really hard to do on a beat. And
rappers out there that are listening,
yeah, bro, that's really hard to have a conversation over a beat, like and still rap in like poetry form, or spilletry as some people will call it. So it's kind of like a spilletry moment with Cordae, but Westcom was actually like rapping because he's used to that. Like he's rapping, singing, he's interchanging his voices and pitches and going to Westcom. That boy can sing while playing the drums, bro. That is
so tough.
That was talented. Cause I would have been like I would have messing up. Like I don't even know how to play the drums. Anyways, first and foremost. But no, yeah, obviously this was a fire song.
Yep.
Fire. I love the interactions. I love the collab. It reminds me of like a stronger Method Man and Redman. Because when they collab, bro, they never miss on a collab. Anderson .Paak and Cordae never miss on a collab. Even what they were doing, I think they did not a joint album, but they was like putting out a bunch of songs together. I can't remember. But nah, they don't miss on collabs. This was fire.
And that's the thing, like to you, what is like the secret, the secret ingredient or the secret sauce to like what makes a collab so great? Because we see artists collab a lot. Sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. But what really to you just makes it just kind of like go and mesh from the jump?
A lot of things. First of all, it has to be chemistry.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of people love the Drake and 21 Savage.
Love that album.
They love that album. Obviously, they hang out, they're friends, they chill.
And it's a natural vibe.
Natural vibe. Drake and Future's collab, chill. They know each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? They in their talent. Chemistry is one.
Talented.
Talented and producer.
Yes.
Producing. Yes. Those three. And I always go back to this Ty Dolla $ign division.
It always gets mentioned. Listeners, it always gets
one element, bro. They was missing one element. Chemistry. Because they had the producer. They had the talent. They don't have no chemistry.
Y'all are two different artists.
Two different artists, bro.
Yeah.
And Ty Dolla $ign ain't no singer. Division is a singer.
Yes.
So you're putting singing and rapping and an actual singer on the same song and trying to make the mesh and then work, in my opinion. But no, those are three things you need: that chemistry, and obviously Cordae and Anderson .Paak to just have that chemistry. The producing was there. Obviously, I didn't know J. Cole made the beat, which was even crazier because J. Cole's beat production has grown over his career.
Oh, yes.
I've heard some sick beats that never even made it out. I'm like, bro, I go this documentary. I'm like, bro, why this never came out?
Went out. Yeah, I have so many questions about things that just never went out.
Like, bro, why are you sitting on this? But anywho, yeah. But I thought this was fire. Obviously, the the lyrics was there, the cadence, the product, the concept. I thought it was a dope concept. But yeah, overall, it was a really good song.
Definitely. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our Insomnia review. Welcome back to the show, and now we're getting into our Insomnia review. And to start with the overview, and Insomnia is a 2002 New York psychological mystery crime thriller directed by Christopher Nolan and written by Hilary Swank, starring Al Pacino, Robert Williams, Hilary Swank with Maria Tierney. The film begins with two Los Angeles homicide detectives investigating a murder in Nightmute, Alaska. After the killer witnesses an accident done by one of the detectives, they create a plan for both parties to mutually avoid prosecution. It had a budget of $46 million and brought in $113.8 million to the box office. Also had a 92% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. But what were your initial thoughts on a movie that was, obviously driven by Al Pacino and Robert Williams' performances and was just a smart and riveting psychological drama?
It's Chris. It was different seeing Robin Williams play like a detective. Because obviously, growing up, we see him in Flubber, Mrs. Doubtfire, Good Will Hunting, like all those movies. That's like, Aladdin, him voicing Aladdin, a bunch of other characters.
Yeah.
But then you get him in a serious role, and you just see his range. And we already know Al Pacino had that range, bro. Like he's been in everything and everything. But just seeing Robin Williams in this different role was like, it was breathtaking. Like, bro, got range. He could do anything. He could play anything, portray anyone. Right. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was it. That caught my eye in the first place. Then you see all these Al Pacino, man. The first movie I watched Al Pacino was Scarface, which is a terrible movie for a kid to watch. And I always
that was your intro.
Yes, bro. That was my intro to Al Pacino. And then after that, you get Heat and some other, like a plethora of the movies. So yeah, just
still my all-time favorite.
Yeah, just seeing this film was like, really was like, yo, these guys can play anything.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, also, like, we've reviewed countless Christopher Nolan movies in the past, but this is a film that doesn't get mentioned from his catalog a lot. Like, do you think this is one of those movies? Because, like, obviously, we talk about films that are like the kind of the deep cuts. Like, even when we mentioned, I think it was Raging Bull for Martin Scorsese, and how that one is not as mentioned as much as like Scorsese's like mob masterpieces. And it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Like, can you kind of tell why this movie isn't mentioned as much compared to some of the other maybe more popular Christopher Nolan films?
I don't know. Yeah, because
he has the blockbuster dramas of Dark Knight and Inception.
Dark Knight and all those Inception. Yeah. But I think this film was more. It wasn't as different because I think it was like the same sort of kind of storyline. Because you look at the Batman film, Batman was a detective and he's a vigilante, but he's a detective in himself. And then he's at night, you know what I'm saying? He don't get no sleep for real.
And that's Insomnia Part 2.
Am I Michael Jordan Space Jam stretching right now, Wellington? Is that even remotely close? I just, pull it out the hat.
There's similarities. But
I think there's
a lot of similarities in his movies.
And how it was shot too is definitely similar as how it was shot. Obviously, you have more action in a Batman film, even Inception. Even though I'm not really a huge fan of Inception.
Train, hear that? Train's gonna mention that.
But I think there are some similarities within it because just like there's some similarities. So it's not him going too far from what he's used to doing. Not saying he doesn't have range as a director and whatever, but just saying they have some similarities in those
type of films.
Yeah,
definitely. And now getting into our first topic from 1 to 4 stars. What would you give it? What would be your particular rating for this film and some of the reasons?
I would give it I'll give it 3 stars.
Yeah, that's the same one I want.
I'll give it 3 stars. At some of the points of the movie, I kind of got lost, not lost, but kind of got like uninterested.
There was a bit of a lull in the middle part where I was just like, it just
Yeah,
didn't keep me engaged throughout the entire film.
I mean, yeah, and it was. I think it was shot pretty decently, and I think the storyline was, but it was just like it waned too long. Like, bro, like what? Connect them faster, like butter your seatbelt. Yeah, put it together already. Like, we don't need this long drawn out. Like, bro, it didn't take that long to figure this out or transition to this. So I think that's what took away from it being 4 stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I went the same way because this is obviously a good film, and it does kind of represent a triumph of atmosphere over a mysterious type of setting, and all the visuals are really impressive. But like that lull in the middle of the movie, I think was kind of one of the down points because you really were missing that consistent just flow that we've kind of seen in other Christopher Nolan movies, and I think that's what kind of held it back a little. But also like when you look at some like the supporting cast of Hilary Swank and what Robin Williams did, like in terms of what made this be like an actual like quality one. Like, do you think it was also important for the supporting actors to be like the high quality ones that we were able to see in this film?
Yeah, like because before we started this side of the podcast, I was like, bro, they had what's the lady from $1 Million Baby? You was like Hilary Swank, yeah, bro. So like they had the James Sutton, the guy who plays Bucky, and then what's not Buffalo Soldier, that's black. The Winter Soldier. Not the Buffalo Soldier. But no, so they had so many like known but unknown, like probably I want to call them B or C actors. Mm-hmm. But Hilary Swank wasn't as not poised, but as known as she was like later down in her career. But you got some of these guys in here, or women actors that kind of like. I recognize you from a film you did probably 6-8 years from this film. So there's a lot of supporting actors in this film, like kind of like got their foot in the door and then kind of like flourish in their career. But just seeing Hilary Swank in here, and then James Sutton, and then the old guy Jay Brazil, who played Francis in his film. He's played in so many like supporting acting roles. So he's like, oh, I've seen him in everything in 1990s and 2000s. So okay, he's whatever. Yeah. So you have some people that are just like their whole career has been a supporting actor, but you have a lot of supporting actors break away from that hold and become standout actors like Robin Williams and Al Pacino. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And now getting to our second topic. Favorite character, I went with Will Dormer because this is obviously a very complicated character as one that does navigate the guilt of an accidental murder and is manipulative at times, but gives such an underrated performance that was essential for the movie's theme because like throughout he's carrying that burden of accidentally killing his partner and trying to cover that up while still finding the actual murderer that they were looking for in the beginning. But to you, who was your overall favorite character in this movie?
Definitely Will Dormer. And I normally when we have the same favorite character, I kind of try to switch it up.
Yeah, switch it up. But it's hard to not. Yeah.
It's hard not to love Al Pacino's character, man. Just exactly what you said, and him searching for the answer to ease his guilty conscience.
Exactly.
That's what fuels him this entire film, right?
Yeah.
So, and once you get that reconciliation, then I don't think he was relieved to me in this movie. I don't think he ever got that point where like, man, like that. It's like when somebody kill a family member and then you go and kill them. Like I'll say Spider-Man when they kill Uncle. Why did I use Spider-Man? Because that's like whatever. When they kill Uncle Ben or Aunt May and they're trying to get revenge or whatever, it still doesn't feel good. Like you still feel that emptiness. Like, bro, that won't. Yeah, it don't bring them back. And I think that was, kind of like, okay. Even with police officers, I mean, that's how I thought that was his character was very interesting. Not taking anything from Walter Finch, but just like Will Dormer was Al Pacino carried this movie. Let's call it spade a spade.
Oh yeah, we got to be honest about that. Like I know sometimes we want to be like, well, the other, but like this was a clear Al Pacino underrated. He just shows off what he's always been able to do.
Obviously, Rob Williams is no small potato, but this is a new role for you, which you're not used to. Al Pacino.
That's what I was saying, that we don't see him in this element. We don't rarely see him in this element.
Al Pacino probably saw this role like, again. Like, bro, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's shoot now.
He's always on 100.
Always on 100. I think that man did real cocaine in the.
Like that scene in Heat.
Show
me what you got. Show me what you got.
Cocaine.
They're like, cut. Al, you good?
Who gave Al real coke again? Gosh. You were supposed to put baking soda over there. That's crazy.
And now getting into most memorable scenes, I had Tanya's betrayal, also the interrogation, Dormer accidentally killing his partner, also Dormer, and Walter's first conversation, and Ellie finding out that Dormer was responsible for the murder, and then the end with Dormer and Ellie's last conversation before his death. Like, to you, what were your overall memorable scenes in this movie?
The last two, when she found out, which was crazy how she found out, and then that last conversation they had before he died. And I don't think he should have died. But I mean, maybe that's what made it 3 stars. And
you think
before
if he
died,
would have still stayed alive, it kind of having that like
that
contemplation.
Dumb.
Yeah,
that would have been dumb. I think they killed him. I think they wrote it right. Because I don't think it would have been a 3-star if he would have stayed alive after what he did, first and foremost. Even if they would have sent him to jail, I don't think that would have been a good... No, he has to die. Like, he has to... There's no way around it. Yeah. But no, I think that was a good scene for sure. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have any other scenes that kind of like stood out the most to me. When she found out was the best one, and then obviously the conversation right before he died. Yeah. Those are only 2 for me.
And I mean, like, because we've mentioned so much about Al Pacino and his catalog and what he's done in the past. Like, to you, in terms of his overall career, his highest moments, he's been in so many incredible trilogies. Obviously, The Godfather, what he did in Heat, and he has this catalog that's so extensive, and he constantly delivers, even in his later years. Like, what do you think makes him such like an undeniable star and just a lifelong legend that's constantly delivered at the highest moments of cinema?
He figures out, I think let's start right. I think he's so good at developing a character before he even gets on the screen. Mm-hmm. And I think he finds, you look at The Godfather, right? And how he's able to embody that role, never been in the mafia, never probably watched some old mafia films or whatever, but even watching those films, you still have to bring a light to it. I think his demeanor, a lot of these actors like Denzel, Al Pacino, Leonardo DiCaprio, it's a facial expressions, the demeanor about them. It's them truly. And I think we talked about this before. It's them truly, but adding fake elements of this character and wrapping around their true self. Because if you play a killer like Leonardo DiCaprio in what's the movie gosh, I'm getting old. Well, it's okay.
Shutter Island?
Shutter Island. There we go. Him playing that film and just being in that moment, like you have remnants of that inside of you somewhere to be able to play this role as good as you are. So it's a core of them and wrapping around this character that and attaching into who you really are. I think to make you a good actor, you have to have that insaneness in you. Like when it comes to Denzel, his mannerism, his facial expressions, the way he articulates words in certain which like get your hands on, and it's all in here. You're gonna see the words before you hear the words.
Yep.
So it's gonna connect because we all know a guy like get your hands on.
Exactly.
And then De Niro, it's not De Niro and Al Pacino is subtly how they talk.
Yeah.
Like in every movie, it's subtle. Like it's that pause between conversation. It's like he's thinking about what he's going to say. You already know the lines or the washcom, but it's so natural. Because how many times you're in a conversation and you just somebody asks you a question, you just like, it's like it's just like so realistic. He brings that character out, but to be that, you just got to have it in you.
You got to have a different type of drive, and he definitely has it.
Some guys are meant to be supporting actors. Some people are meant to be standouts. Sorry, I mean, I just want to add that.
Absolutely. And now I get into most memorable quotes I had. I'm a good cop, can't sleep because he's missing a piece of the puzzle. Also, this guy crossed the line and didn't even blink. Also, it's about small stuff, small lies, small mistakes. And then finally, you have no evidence. I kill K. You only know because I told you what I saw.
Winter.
And I think that the last one by Walter, you're a good man. I know that even if you've forgotten it, that was an incredible line. So many good lines from Walter. But to you, what were some of your memorable quotes that kind of stood out to you?
Obviously, you always pick the best ones, and just Walter, literally had the best quotes.
He stole it.
I didn't murder her, I killed her, but it just ended up that way. What? What? I didn't murder her.
Just killed her.
I killed her. It just ended up that way. Like, bro, what is you talking about? But now Walter had all the good quotes. Walter had the good quotes, but Will Dormer's character was better.
Crazy contrast.
What is another one? Nah, that's all of them. The guy crossed the line and didn't even blink. Yeah. But Walter had all the best quotes. You're a good man, even if you've forgotten. Because, I mean, obviously, that's in context, you killed, I made a mistake, you kill your partner and blah, blah, blah. And yeah. But no, yeah.
The dialogue was phenomenal in this movie.
Gotta be with Al Pacino, man.
Yeah.
Well, I won't take away from Robert. Robert Williams has good dialogue, especially in Good Will Hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Good Will Hunting. It's a bunch of other, serious films he's been in, but, it's nothing where close to Heat. We already know that dialogue.
There are quotes that will be mentioned for that years from now, decades from now. Just the action is the juice. The action is come on, man. That makes you so pumped up. He said, for me, the action is
it was like he was looking at, what do you want to be, a normal guy? Like it's just like the normal conversation. Like they're in a whole room. A diner of people. One's a cop, one's a Westcom. Nobody's worrying about arresting him, blah, blah, blah. It's just having a conversation. So simplistic, but it meant way more. I think that's the beauty of that dialogue. It meant way more than that scene. Bro, that's nobody. I don't think anybody can top that scene with dialogue, bro.
At all. And now getting into what did you like the most about the storyline? To me, how this was a constant puzzle that was having to be kind of reconfigured and really just decided on because of what Dormer was going through, what he was contemplating, and how he was having to navigate it and really see in the end how he could put all of these pieces of the puzzle together, and also dealing with morality and the murder he committed. To you, what element of this storyline did you kind of like the most?
Oh, I think what you just said, and it's like, I love the ending. I was kind of, mixed emotions about the ending, like we just talked about earlier. What if you were in the jail? What if you stayed alive? Yeah, but I think the ending was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then with the character, I don't think he got the reconciliation. I don't think he deserved it. And that makes you think too. Did he even deserve it?
He actually deserved it.
So that's it. Left you wondering, bro, what if this had an alternate ending? What would it be? I love that it made me think about possible endings. I thought it was strong. The storyline was definitely strong, but I think, except the middle. We talked about the middle.
Yeah.
The middle was
that didn't hold up.
But the ending, I think the ending was it definitely crescendoed. I thought it was a good ending, and then it made you think what if this would happen or that would happen. When a film or a book or whatever makes you think after it's over, I think you got a good one, even if it's in a bad regard. Like I still think you got a good one because now it's a lingering effect. Now that movie is replaying like, bro, why would they do that? Why would they do like even if it's bad, now you're thinking about what you just watched for more longer. Because when you watch it, go ahead.
And that's what I was gonna say earlier. Like Christopher Nolan, I think with every movie, because people always there are like a ton of YouTube clips about what did this ending mean? What did it actually? And he's said in interviews like it's up to the viewer to decide. I fully let the viewer. He said I fully let the viewer decide, and I feel like that is a constant theme or constant just like pattern of all of his movies because the ending will always make you think like, what if it was this way? What if it was that way? You're never gonna be fully like just settled on a Christopher Nolan ending.
Yeah, even with Batman.
Yeah,
even with Batman. Now even Inception.
Yes, that makes you think. That makes you think.
I still don't like it. I still don't. I'm joking. But it does make you think.
Interstellar as well. Especially Interstellar.
It was long, but it was good.
Yes.
It was definitely good, bro. Like I was glued in on the movie. It was, I know a couple people fell asleep. My dad fell asleep.
That's one of your favorite Nolan movies, isn't it?
Yes.
Interstellar, yeah.
I like Matthew McConaughey. I don't know why people don't like Matthew McConaughey, but I think he's a good actor. Yeah. I think he could play in everything. But Interstellar, and I like, sci-fi, space. They were there for 3 hours. Dude, Groot, he turned 68. Hey, whoa, what are we doing? Hey, how does this happen?
At a full-blown beer.
Right, exactly. And he was like, hello, where'd you go? Bro, okay, they were going 3 hours, bro. But no, it kept me intrigued. Like, I like stuff like that. I like thinking like even with the like he was pulling the strings behind the bookcase.
Oh,
and he was at home, bro.
Oh my god,
amazing! I was like, that's from that's from the beginning of the movie. Oh, that's when she was a kid. He was doing that. I was like, bro,
man,
so
mind blown.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's one of my favorite films from him.
Absolutely. And getting to our last topic, 10 years from now, do you still think this will be watchable and intriguing? And obviously, like this is a movie came out in 2002, has been around so long. And, I do think it will, because obviously with the actors that we have in it, Pacino, Robin Williams, and Hilary Swank, all those actors are going to be able to elevate and be an interesting watch. And, but it also is the question of like, is this going to be as watchable as other Nolan movies? And I don't think it will be in that sense, but I still think it can be that movie that you'll be intrigued to watch when it's on. To you, how do you think this movie will age another decade from now, and kind of how it will be compared to other Nolan movies?
I don't think it will be compared because I don't think a lot of people know about this.
That's what I'm saying. It's hidden. It's hidden in the vault. It's just like I think when people see this, they're gonna be like, "Wait, what's Insomnia?"
Huh? You talking about the cookies? Yeah, a lot of people don't know because it's not played. Like you have old films that's played on FX or Freeform or whatever. Like they're recycled. Films like these don't get recycled.
No. And you gotta really search for this.
Exactly. So a lot of people don't care about directors' catalog long enough after 10 years, and Christopher Nolan's been in the game for a long time. So I don't think this film, obviously, if people don't know about it, this is not recycled in any TV or streaming platform, then it's not gonna even. I don't think this even on Amazon you can watch for free. You gotta buy this. That's why I didn't watch it again. I remembered.
I'm going to use the memory.
I'm not about to rent this for $3.99. That's $4 to go to groceries. What's he talking about? But I remembered it because, even though I watch it at a young age, I still remember most of the scenes. And then you can get clips and stuff from different places to kind of jog your memory. But I don't think this is watchable because it's not recycled in any other, and not even Christopher Nolan. Like, hey guys, remember that film I did?
They're like, wait, what?
With Robin Williams.
Now we want to talk about Dark Knight.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I don't think this movie in this catalog is going to be obviously not well known. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, that wraps it up for today. I'm host Winter Burns, and my counterpart Savon Morris. This has been Full Scope. See you later.